I will tell you though, as a matter of fact, as of today, this is the largest victory at Camp Randall for a road opponent since October 11th, 2008, where Penn State defeated Wisconsin 48-7.
You know, have you ever been to Madison?
Unfortunately, no.
So I went to Madison in 2019 when they had Jonathan Taylor, and they played Michigan, and they beat the crap out of Michigan. If you ever get a chance to go to Madison, for any of you watching, you should go. It's a lot of fun, and you'll see a lot of Bama fans on Twitter being like, "Oh my God, this is super fun." I felt really bad for the Wisconsin fans doing jump around at the end of the third quarter when it was 35-10, and then they all left because like Bama, like it's so hard to watch. Not hard, but it's so funny to watch. Like like your team's getting killed, and you just have to kind of. There's a cool tradition everyone wants to enjoy, and it's just one of those things like, all right, well, and then it's time to take off. But what are your overall thoughts on today's game? Like just, basic breakdown before we really get into the nitty gritty.
I'll tell you, I was glad seeing the performance from Brian Williams. Like, dude is not even 18 yet, and he's making some of these impressive performances throughout the 2024 season, including today. It's been amazing seeing old Williams.
It is very rare that you see a freshman play in the SEC and you're like, that's first round pick in 2 years.
Yeah.
Guys like Clowney, Amari Cooper as a freshman was awesome. Like, they're very rarely do you see these kind of guys, you just watch him and you go, nope, he's first round pick in 2 years. Him and Jeremiah Smith at Ohio State are going to have a fun wide receiver one battle for the next couple of years.
Oh, yeah. And the thing is, Brian Williams won't turn 18 until February 9th, 2025.
So I got to say, when they got the ball back after Wisconsin at the end of the half and Wisconsin missed the field goal, I was very pleased they were aggressive. Because a lot of times you see coaches just pack it up, get to the locker room. At that time, all right, we're up 14-3. Wisconsin with Braden Locke's really not going to be able to move the ball. They were aggressive. They hit Williams on a deep pad, 2 plays, and then that was the Bernard touchdown. Love to see that from DeBoer. And again, Jalen Milroe just throws a really pretty deep ball.
Oh, yeah.
He just does. I mean, it could be kind of scattershot between like 5 and 15. He's still improving in that area, but him from 15 on is just, he throws a beautiful ball.
Oh, yeah. He does indeed.
I thought the offense as a whole played really well today. You could tell that Caden Proctor was back, and it wasn't Formby at tackle. You could really tell that he was back and mauling dudes. Wisconsin's got a physical defense. I'm going to give some credit to Wisconsin when TVD went out. And if you were watching the show last week, I don't think TVD's that good. I think he's okay. They were on a nice drive when he got hurt. At first I thought he got like the wind knocked out of him because he landed on the ball, and then very quickly it was evident. No, that's not what happened. But Braden Locke stinks. If you watched any Wisconsin last year, he's just not a very good quarterback. And the Wisconsin defense played hard there for a little while, but eventually that's kind of the dam broke because you can only play so much before you just kind of, when you're playing a team like Alabama where they're consistently breaking off 5-6 yard runs, Milroe's hitting deep shots, Milroe's running the ball at you, and this big physical body, there's only so much you can do. Well, the credit to Wisconsin for defense for a long time. They really hung in there. But you could tell that touchdown before the half kind of broke them.
Yeah, it was, like that injury to Tyler Van Dyke, that really hurt Wisconsin big time. And it's going to be interesting to see when he'll return, because I'm hoping he'll be all right, because I'm sure he will be, but it'll be interesting to see what happens, especially in the coming weeks ahead for the Badgers.
This isn't a Wisconsin podcast, so we're not going to break down Wisconsin,
Nope.
but man, like proof of concept for Luke Fickell's got to be coming around the corner soon, right?
I would say, I mean,
like it has to. Not saying it has. I'm saying like you would think like Luke Fickell's a good coach, but that proof of concept, like what you're doing is working, should probably. And they have a tough schedule ahead of them. But yeah, all hope for Tyler Van Dyke. He was so good in 2021. It was 2021 when he was at Miami, and then he really struggled. 22 struggled last year. Ends up at Wisconsin, second chance, and hasn't really played well. But yeah, you don't want to see injuries like that happen. But back to Bama. As C Bama says, roll tide. Yeah, I just thought
roll tide, C Bama.
Front to back, I thought Bama played a really solid football game.
Oh man, I'll tell you one guy that I loved watching for a little bit today. It was Jam Miller. He was tremendous. I mean, he had 71 yards and 9 carries and 1 touchdown.
Jam's got some wiggle.
Yeah,
he's got some wiggle, and God bless Brian Robinson. It's been a while since we've seen like a stud back at Alabama. Now Milrose, he's not a running back, but he has that stud running ability. But it's been since 2020 because and part of that might have been Bill O'Brien, but Bill O'Brien might just be very good OC. He's a good head coach. He's doing a nice job at Boston College. They lost to Mizzou, but that's you go on the road against a top 10 team. But it's been a while since we've seen a dominant Bama back. I'm wondering if he can be the guy.
I think he could be. I mean, I love what I saw from our team today. I'm loving what we're going to see for the rest of the season.
Well, there's a lot of questions a lot of the questions that we'll bring up today and through the bye week will be answered in 2 weeks.
Oh yeah, that's going to be.
We'll know.
Oh yeah.
That doesn't mean you win if you don't beat Georgia. Okay, but we'll know a lot about this team in 2 weeks. Your season's not over if you lose to Georgia at home, but we'll know more about this team than we know now in 2 weeks.
For sure. We'll definitely know about our strengths and weaknesses. I mean, we were a lot better than we were last week.
Well, last week was disastrous, and we were talking a bit about this on the backstage. But last week, USF just had dudes running open all game downfield. They were just wide open. Wisconsin had a little bit of that today. Part of it is because Phil Longo knows what he's doing as a coordinator for the most part. It's not his fault that Braden Locke just isn't very good. So he's going to scheme up a couple things. And he did. There was like a slot fade that Braden Locke just missed in the third quarter when the game was basically over. There was a fade route. I think it was before the half. Not a fade, a flag route that Braden Locke just missed. But that's just going to kind of happen in college football. You're going to have some guys that get schemed open. But I thought they did a much better job today of not just letting guys roam. Touchdown LSU.
Oh, man, that game's getting close.
It's 36-33 with 1:12 left. That game's taking forever.
Oh, man, it's like I can't believe like South Carolina, like a couple weeks back, they barely beat Old Dominion, but then a week ago they spanked Kentucky, and now it's College Game Day's going to town for South Carolina LSU.
Ridiculous, but it is what it is.
Yeah, they don't ask us, but they should.
But I thought the Bama defense today, last week they looked good side to side. That they didn't miss a lot of tackles. They were very quick to the ball because USF's quarterback just could not get the ball downfield. So all he could do was quick game. And so I thought the Bama defense did a pretty good job of that last week. I think they did a better job today. I think they looked pretty good moving side to side, not letting Wisconsin do anything offensively. Wisconsin, I think, had the one drive that was okay. Ches Malusi ended up with 6 yards of carry, 11 for 66. But you take away the long at 21, Now we're at 10 for 45. That's 4.5 yards a carry. Like, Wisconsin ran the ball okay, 41 carries, 149 yards, and 3.6 yards per carry. I think a ton of that came after it was over. They got it to 28. Did you? So I didn't think Wisconsin would win, but I perked up a little bit. Having done Bama now for 3 years, you see so many of these games. I perked up a little bit. Wisconsin cut it to 28-10, then forced a 3-and-out and got the ball back. And then I was like, oh, if it's 28-17 going into the fourth, that's interesting. Like, they won't do it because I don't think Braden Locke's going to lead 2 scoring drives against Alabama. But it could get interesting. And then they fumble. So,
yeah.
Did you think at any point that this could get interesting after it got 20 after half?
Yeah. Well, I thought it would get a little closer in the third quarter, honestly. And, for those who tuned in on Crimson Tide Live 3 with Ryan Herrings at Locked On Badgers with Johnny Burtz and myself on Monday afternoon, I actually thought this game was going to be closer than this, to be honest. I thought it was going to be a 28-20 game. But, the thing was, I didn't take into account Tyler Van Dyke getting hurt. I didn't think that would happen, to be honest. I don't think anybody did.
No, especially on the first drive. And he was pretty, I mean, we'll see. You want to, there's the joke on Twitter, like it's the American Psycho. It's like nice scripted drives. Let's see the unscripted ones. I think it's Stats of War. But they were leading a nice drive. He was 5 for 5. They're getting around midfield. I think it would have been like 2nd and 1 when he got hurt or whatever. It just, he gets hurt and what can you do? I mean,